and salutations, my friends. This is Comic Book Hangover. My name is Scott, and here we go with the movies that comprise the second half of September of my year-long movie-a-day sort of movie marathon thing. And as I mentioned in my last video, September and October are dedicated to strictly horror and horror-adjacent titles. There's a couple in this half of the month that kind of fall into the sort of horror adjacent. So let's just jump into it. These are the movies that I watched for the second half of September 2025, starting with one that I hadn't watched since I bought it. Long time ago. I mean, I think I was out in Portland, Oregon. I was out there from 2004 to 2008. As far as I know, this is when I bought this. I could be wrong, but we have Tokyo Zombie. It's a story about two slackers that end up inadvertently killing their boss. There's this mountain of garbage in Tokyo that people just go, they just started putting garbage in this place, and it grew and it grew and it grew. And then people started putting bodies and whatnot in there, people they didn't like, or mobsters would put in people they hit on there. It just kind of grew into this nastiness, and for whatever reason, they don't actually explain it, but for whatever reason, the dead started coming back and attacking the living. There's some interesting characters in here, some interesting things that you see on screen that I don't think you'd ever see in an American zombie movie, but this is Japanese. They get to have a lot more fun than we can. But then there's this really weird thing, like partway through the movie, there's this 5-year, 10-year jump into the future, and it becomes a completely different movie. But it's still fun. I remember the first time I watched it, I didn't really care for it, but upon a second viewing over a decade later, I did enjoy it. So there you go. Moving on, this is a Steelbook 4K Ghostbusters. You can see there's a little dent in there. That's because I ordered this from, I think I ordered this from Amazon. I have the picture on the back. I don't like those J cards. Generally, I'll get rid of the J cards. I just don't have a use for them. But this one, I got to put it in one of those protective sleeves. But I watched Ghostbusters, and I mean, it's Ghostbusters. We can move on. Next one, another 4K. Not a Steelbook, though. And also, those dents and that sort of stuff is why I don't like Steelbooks. There's more that I dislike about them than I do like about them, but I do have quite a few of them in my collection for whatever reason. The next one is Evil Dead Rise. Now, of course, we just got the announcement that next year we're going to have another Evil Dead movie. I'm super, super excited about that. But until then, we get to have the great Evil Dead movies that we've gotten already. Evil Dead Rise. My son watched this one. He's seen Evil Dead 2. Army of Darkness, and now Evil Dead Rise. He really liked it. He liked the gore effects in it and the callbacks and stuff that he recognized from the Evil Dead movies that he watched. But a lot of fun. It was fun sitting down and watching that with my son. Next one was Blu-ray, continuing the Puppet Master series with Puppet Master 3. Great one. This one, you go back in time to kind of get the origin of the Puppet Master. So good stuff. I really enjoyed it. Switching gears from more of the horror into the horror comedy, you have one of the greatest horror comedies of all time, and I will die on that hill, and that is in this collection here. This is Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. I have this collection that's Abbott and Costello Meet the Monsters collection. Gal that I dated a couple of years ago, actually more than a couple of years ago, a long time ago, got this for me, and I still have it. I love it. These Abbott and Costello movies are some of my favorite movies, but the Meet Frankenstein is an absolute classic and kind of set the standard for the horror comedy crossover. The next one is the one that my son watched, because this is actually one of his favorite movies, Pumpkinhead. I've got the Blu-ray for it. I think this is a Shout Factory. Yeah, this is a Shout Factory one, so it has the new box art on it. I don't really care for the new box art. Like I said, I'm an original person. Not to say the new box art was bad, but I stick with what I'm familiar with. It helps me feel better. And moving on to a movie that I hadn't watched since I bought it. I'm not even sure where I got this one from. It's DVD Leviathan, underwater, sort of like Alien underwater, and not really a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. It has an amazing cast in it. I mean, we've got Peter Weller, RoboCop, is in it. Meg Foster is in it. Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters, and quite a few other people. It's got a great cast. The script is not the best. There's really not a whole lot that's original in it, but the monster effects in it are spectacular. That's what you watch it for. The monsters, all right? Going back to a horror comedy, we've got I got this one from Family Video. Dead Before Dawn, horror comedy about these kids that unleash this demon that curses them, and as they're not taking it seriously, they sort of make a joke about the curse, about how the curse can be passed along, about how you can cure it, and all this sort of stuff. And it just becomes a huge mess, and it's fun. It's Christopher Lloyd is in there, and of course, one of his lines he says is "Great Scott." It's a great callback. Another Family Video purchase, and yeah, I'm kind of going through these fast. I don't want these videos to be too long. Another Family Video purchase. This one has Dave Foley, Lance Hendrickson, Kevin Nash, WWF, WWE, WCW guy, and of course one of the greatest managers of all time, Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South. This is Monster Brawl. We've also got this guy here, Frankenstein, is played by, he was called Kurgan in the WWF, back in the WWF days, before we had to switch to WWE. But Monster Brawl, it's sort of, it's people collected monsters from around the world, different kinds of monsters, have them in a cemetery, and they have them fight wrestling, WWE style. So it's fun. It's a fun little film. And this one was not. It wasn't intentional. This would be the next one, but there's another one that has a wrestler in it. That says Linnea Quigley, which is one of the reasons why I bought it. Ron Jeremy, which is not one of the reasons why I bought it. But the other reason why I bought it was Jerry the King Lawler, one of my favorite guys of all time. Girls Gone Dead. It's your typical sort of TNA horror film. Guy, there's a spring break down in Florida, girls naked, whatever, but then you get somebody going around killing them because they are impure. It's, religious fanatic, blah, blah, blah. Good stuff. It's fun. It's a fun movie. Great special effects in it as well. Going back some time, we have, I'm not even sure what year this is from. Doesn't matter. It's a classic, and it's on 4K. It came from outer space. We've had this movie for probably about a year, and we have not popped it in. I decided to finally make a part of this, popped it in, and great little film. This one's an interesting one. It's sort of it's not an alien invasion film. Usually we'd get these kind of movies that came from outer space, the Blob and, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You have these movies where aliens come to Earth, and their intention is to wipe out the human race or enslave the human race and take over the planet Earth, like War of the Worlds. This one here, very different. The aliens crash land on Earth on accident. They didn't intend to come here. They didn't want to be here. Their whole thing is, look, let us repair our ship so we can get the hell out of here. That's the basic thing on here. But the way they go about it, and of course you also got to consider the time that this takes place in. There's a lot of mistrust. There's a lot of not really knowing what's going on, and unwillingness to communicate between humans and aliens. So there's a lot of miscommunication there. But still, it was a great little movie. It's a nice change of pace as far as like alien invasion flicks go. So I really did enjoy it. Next one, another one that I picked up. This is another Shout Factory one that I kept the original box art for. This is Candyman. Now, I remember seeing this one when it first came out, and I was pretty impressed with it, pretty impressed with the effects on it. And the effects do hold up pretty well. However, this movie has gotten to become something more than what it is and what it should be. I keep hearing about how it's all this social awareness, and it's so deep and profound, and the Candyman is such a great character. Here's some reality though. It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. Well, it's not a great movie. It's a good movie. It's a decent movie. Candyman is barely in it. He basically speaks poetry, and there's barely anybody killed. It has a very low body count. As far as a social awareness for it, I mean, I guess if you really want to pay attention to that, but myself, I'm a surface viewer, just like with my comic books, I'm a surface reader. I couldn't care less about deep stories unless that is specifically what I'm going into a movie or a comic book for. I just want to be entertained. I don't want to have a message. I don't want to be preached to. I just want to see what I came to see. But Candyman it's a good movie, but I don't think it really deserves all the accolades that it gets. Just my opinion. It's just my opinion. All right, now we're coming to the home stretch here. This next one is the gal who got me the Abbott and Costello Monsters collection. She got me on this. She had this tradition where she would watch this next one every Halloween. And when we were dating, we would actually just watch it in one sitting. and it's a long thing. It's one of those old Stephen King movie epic mini series that they used to do back in the day. This time though, I decided to split it up into 3 parts because it is 3 parts. So I'm going to be watching this every on Sundays for 3 consecutive Sundays, and that is Stephen King's Rose Red. Now, I'm not a big fan of Stephen King. Mostly because I can't stand when the guy is online and he's talking about things he doesn't need to be talking about. He needs to stay in his lane and talk about his books, talk about horror, talk about sci-fi, whatever. But he needs to not talk about politics. But Rose Red is probably, for me, it's probably my favorite one of the event miniseries that they did back in the day. I didn't really care for it. Langoliers, I didn't care for it. Most of the other ones. The Stand was like the first half of The Stand I thought was pretty good, but then after that just kind of dragged on. But Rose Red has a lot going for it. I mean, it's got a great cast, a lot of great character actors in this one, and it's even got dude, I'm blanking on his name now. He was in Warlock, and great actor. Unfortunately, passed away about a year or so ago. But psychics go into a house that has a horrible supernatural history. They decide to go in there to investigate to see if they can get some proof of some supernatural activity. Now, the gal who's in charge of it, I don't think she's as forthcoming with the information as you'd expect her to be. She kind of becomes really obsessed with the house and obsessed with achieving her goals, without taking into consideration the safety and the lives of the people around her. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of jumping back in time to get the story of the house, but great story. If you haven't seen Rose Red, it is really good. I think it's only ever gotten that 1 DVD release. The next one is one that I bought from my local library. Cost me $1, so why not? And that is a DVD copy of The Dead Don't Die. Very quiet, very low-key film. Bill Murray is in it. Some dude from Star Wars is in it. It does have a pretty decent cast. A lot of people I'm not too familiar with because I don't watch a lot of these other movies, a lot of more modern, recent movies. But it's just a low-key film. It's like Bill Murray's character. He's like the sheriff, and there is a message to it, but whatever. The polar ends of the earth kind of go off kilter, so daylight is weird, and then the dead come back, and you got zombies, and they're just absorbing everything. They're looking out the window saying, maybe we should do something about this. I don't know, but there's some great meta humor in there. There's a scene in there between Bill Murray and his deputy where the deputy keeps saying this isn't going to end well, and Bill Murray says, you keep saying that, what do you mean when you say that? And the guy says, well, I read the script. And Bill Murray says, the whole script? Because I only read the parts, I've only got the scenes that I'm in. So they kind of reference that it's a movie, which is kind of cool. It's a nice little sort of step aside. But I know a lot of people really didn't care for it. I didn't like it the first time I watched it, but upon a second viewing, it grew on me. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And the last one that I watched is actually one that unfortunately I'm going to have to replace because there's I think I've got some disk rot or something going on here because this one froze up on me. That is House. This one here, this is a release from 2000. Holy cow, 2001. Jeez. But this one has House and House 2, the second story in it, which is why I picked it up because I wanted to have both of them. My son watched it and because he likes these kind of movies. So fun little sort of comedy. It's not really, it skews more into supernatural comedy, sort of like the Frighteners more than horror, but still really fun movie, really good stuff. But that is it. Those are the movies that I watched in the second half of September. This video's gone on long enough, so I'm going to say we'll see you next time for the next round of movies for the first half of October. See you later. Bye.